Now, another successful business story is Berkeleau Books, Australia's largest seller of rare and second-hand books. They've got outlets in Sydney and Melbourne, but their book barn in the Southern Highlands of New South Wales is the place for bookworms to browse the thousands of books on offer, or simply relax over a coffee and enjoy the beautiful surrounding countryside.
Berkeleau is now coming up to its bicentenary in 2012, which means the family's been trading in books since 1812. I, along with my two brothers, are now the sixth generation involved with the family business. My father obviously is also still involved. We've had a long affinity with the book world and third generation Australian and are still going strong. The barn's been here since the early 80s, and it came about my father in the late 70s moved his business down to the Southern Highlands here, which is sort of an hour and a half outside Sydney. He basically moved a rare book business down here in those days, and in the early 80s he became aware that many people wanted to sort of drop in and browse through the books, and he at that point in time wasn't geared for people to do that, and developed this concept. It has gone from strength to strength. I mean, it was only ever open on weekends in those days at the beginning, and now has been here sort of coming up to 25 years, and seems to always have somebody around. We have a couple of 100 acres here. I think that's part of the charm of the barn and its setting is that it's set on a rural property, and for a lot of our customers who potentially are from city lifestyles to come and be in an environment where there's an element of space and a few cows walking around and sit and have a cup of coffee and be in a charming building and have a look at some books. It's all part of the experience that we offer.
I like coming here, just exploring the barn and just discovering books that I don't know about, authors, or I come here with an open mind, and I just come here just to look at books. And I get intrigued and I go, oh yes, I don't know about this, or I don't know about that. It's wonderful. The atmosphere's beautiful.
Berkeleau's now have run 8 or 9 stores, and we have considerable quantities of stock in each of those stores. We estimate that in the barn here we've got something of the order of a couple of 100,000. We have our rare book section sort of 500 metres down the road, and that also has quite a large quantity, and really we do cover the whole spectrum of book selling. I mean, right through from general second-hand through to new releases and through to sort of more rarer, important items. So this is a little item that we recently acquired, and it's a very important little piece. This item was published in London in 1613, so coming up to 400 years old, and it's in remarkably good condition considering its age. And you can see the Old English language and how the language has developed. The F's have now become S's, and the spelling of certain words have sort of changed over time. This is a 2-volume set by Shackleton, Ernest Shackleton, titled The Heart of the Antarctic. There was quite a rush of explorers that basically visited the South Pole in the early 1900s. A number of early Antarctic items that have become very, very important, and this would be one of them. This final item is a book by Donald Friend called Bumbleziana, and it's not an excessively old book like the other 2 items that we were looking at. I mean, it was only published in 1979. Donald Friend was an Australian, and he became quite well known for doing a lot of artwork. Predominantly, a lot of his work was based not necessarily in Australia, but in certain parts of Southeast Asia. This item is limited to 150 numbered copies and has become quite an important item and quite heavily sought after. It's valued at $5,500, and included in that is just an actual original little pen and ink drawing. We cater obviously very much for the locals, and we also have considerable number of tourists coming through this area. I mean, the geographic location of the Southern Highlands here between Canberra and Sydney sort of is a perfect location. There's an ongoing debate about the impact of e-books and the impact that that's going to have on the book form. At this point in time, people are still very much enthusiastic about picking up a book and enjoying it. Parents are still buying books for their children, and I mean, there's certain aspects of book selling that have changed, and I think education has certainly been impacted upon. But for general consumption of books and the enjoyment of books on an individual basis, are still very much alive.
Nothing like curling up with a good book, and I hope you enjoyed the program today. To find out more about any of the segments you've seen on the show, just check out our website. Now tomorrow, we'll visit the Grampians National Park in Western Victoria, renowned for its breathtaking views and rich Aboriginal culture and wildlife. And we meet a South Australian fisherman who really knows how to pull in the fish. So I hope you can join us for more Nexus tomorrow. See you then.